Welcome back, traders, to the 2024 backtesting series. We are nearing the end of the year, but before we get started today, I'm going to have to show you the spreadsheet. I did compile the October data here, and as you can see, October was not a good month. We had less than a 50% winning percentage. You can see that we did lose on the month, so October was a red month. But like I said, I think the reason for this was because I was trying to push a little too hard during a time where it was just going sideways because of the election. Who knows whether or not this is typical of October? It may just be the special year, but these are the results. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look at the charts. This is the daily chart from the previous week on December 6th. We will be back testing the 9th through the 13th here. So you can see we have 3 full weeks left and then a couple more days at the end. I think these 2 days, I'll go ahead and back test these 2 days, but then compile the data and give you guys some results. Either way, we are looking at the daily chart on December 6th, and we have been bullish, have been going up for all-time highs. So there's no indication of a pullback, no indication of it, being bearish. I'm looking at this daily fair value gap here. There are several daily fair value gaps, but I'm going to go ahead and just look and pay attention to the closest one. If we start going underneath that, then I'll start looking at the other ones. But right now, I'm just going to pay attention to this one. I suspect we could pull back to here, but if we start trading below it, then I may have to reevaluate my bias. But right now, there's no reason to be bearish. So I'm going to stick with a bullish bias. And you can see this projection here. Oh, excuse me, let me go ahead and mute my phone. But you can see this projection was from this swing low to this swing high. I'm actually going to move it here. So that way we can see we have a negative 1.5 standard deviation here that could be a target, or a negative 2 standard deviation. So those could be our higher time frame targets. Since we're at all-time highs, don't know how high we can actually go. But as long as we don't have any bearish indicators, I'm going to just stick with a bullish bias. Okay, so Monday, December 9th, 8 o'clock in the morning. And as you can see, we've already hit that negative 1.5 standard deviation on the overnight, Monday morning, actually, during the London session. Maybe a little hard to see, but this is a gray right here. That is the negative 1.5 standard deviation from the previous daily chart. Now, on the hourly, you can see a lot of consolidation here. And with this run up and this drop down, I'm kind of getting like a power 3 vibe here where we have accumulation, the manipulation. So I'm thinking we may be going down today. Going down where will be the question. Well, we do have the sell side target right here. It's still within this fair value gap. So we could sweep it, or we can start pushing lower for these relative equal lows as well. So these are going to be the 2 sell side target. This one's going to be the primary one. And depending on whether or not we get continuation, we could aim for this lower one, or if we start getting a reversal or retracement, we could go back into this fair value gap. So let me go ahead and highlight this one as well. I think it's important to pay attention to this one, since this was the fair value gap created after the buy side liquidity sweep. Right there. So if we start trading above it and using it as support, then we can go ahead and look for higher targets, that negative 2 standard deviation target. Okay, so pre-market, pretty much just consolidation. We're right here before 9:30. What I'm expecting from 9:30 is a pop up into this red SIBI, the 1 hour SIBI, and then I'm going to look for a reversal down for the sell side target. And if we start trading above the SIBI, using it as support, well, then we can go ahead and look for higher targets. We do technically have relative equal highs here, and then we can look for the higher projection target. So it really depends on what we do here at 9:30. Okay, so we do get a pop up into the lower part of this 1 hour fair value gap, and then we suddenly just drop lower. So we could potentially have an entry here, but I'm actually going to wait a little bit longer. This could just be sweeping the sell side here real quick and then going up higher. Going down to a 15-minute, you can see that even though we did technically take out the sell side below this low, but even if we do take out the swing low, you can see that we're going into a little bit of inefficiency here. So we could just be using this to continue bullish up. The higher time frame, we are still bullish. So even though I said power 3 on the 1 hour here, we could continue to go. This could be like, what's it called? The ICT I forgot what it's called. It's like accumulation, and then you have a sweep of the buy side, and then the manipulative move is actually down to the downside, and then we'll go, and since the buy side was already cleared, there will be nothing stopping price to go even higher. So that's kind of what I'm thinking could happen. I think we just need to give this a little bit more time to, see exactly what price wants to do. This could just be another fake out to the downside. So as you can see, we are going up. We didn't take out the sell side. I would like it better if we did take out the sell side here and then we start pushing up. So when you're not really sure and it's a little unclear, you don't really want to be jumping in right away. So I'm giving it a little bit more time. It looks like it's going for the sell side now. Now if I start seeing a rally to the upside, I may be willing to take a long. If we come back, okay, so I really want to pay attention to this fair value gap, right? Once we went into this 1 hour SIBI and we start moving down, we left this 5-minute SIBI here and we didn't come back to it. So I think it's going to be very important to see what happens if we come back to this 5-minute SIBI. All right, so it's going down more, going for the second sell side target. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the 1 hour, just so you can see that we are looking for these relative equal lows here. I'm thinking if we go back up to the SIBI and then we get a confirmation fair value gap, then I will be willing to go ahead and take a short looking for those relative equal lows. But as of right now, it's actually getting kind of close to my time window here. And I am done for the day. But as you can see, if you look at the session though, we have consolidation, manipulation here. You see, this is what I'm talking about before, right? We have a little bit of a drop down for the sell side, basically clearing out the sell side. Then we have the manipulative move, right? I think in my video, if you've seen my video on liquidity, this is going to be what I call a two-staged manipulation. I think ICT went over this before. If you've seen his, I forgot what it was. He's got some Power 3 video where he talks about this. But it clears out the sell side, and then here's the manipulative move going to the upside. And since we already cleared out the sell side, there's nothing stopping from price going down even lower. And then we went ahead and closed the session here. So you can see here is the Power of 3 playing out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day here. Hopefully that was instructive. I didn't really take a trade, but you can see kind of like how price played out. I didn't really have any setup for me to get in on, but you could try playing off this 1 hour fair value gap. But that's not really here or there according to my model. So relative equal lows, a lot of lows put in here. I definitely think the sell side is primed to get taken. And then from there, are we going to go to the upside or are we going to continue lower? That is pretty much the question as we go into Tuesday morning, December 10th. You can see these relative lows here looks so primed to get taken. We have buy side above this swing high. And of course, it's within a level of, it's a 1 hour SIBI is what I'm trying to say. So let's go down to a 15-minute. Can we refine this a little bit more? Well, you can see that 5-minute fair value gap yesterday I highlighted, but I'm going to extend it a little bit more for the 15-minute. I think that will be a little bit more relevant because that way, even if it pokes above it, I won't think like, okay, we're going to go higher. We're still in a 15-minute SIBI. And then I think that's all, of course, sell side all the way down here, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this one in mind because there's just so much sell side. I'm definitely thinking that we may be going lower. What I'm expecting pretty or at 8:30 or 9:30 is for price to go up into this 15-minute SIBI. And then I want to see displacement to the downside going for the sell side liquidity. All right, so just before 9:30 here, we did get a little bit of a drop here. Now, in my earlier years of trading, I think I would say like, oh, okay, it didn't hit the sell side, right? Let me go back up to the 15-minute. Or at the buy side, I mean the buy side being here, right? Okay, it didn't hit the buy side, but it is creating like displacement. It has a fair value gap here, right? So I'm thinking, okay, we could go back into here. I could take a short here and have price go down lower. But no, with now that I've had a little bit more experience, I've learned not to really trust this too much because you know, I really want to be waiting for a sell side liquidity or a liquidity sweep, because once you get the sweep, then you can have the significant move after that. So this is probably just a little bit of retracement here. With 930, I'm expecting for this high to get taken, the buy side to get taken, go up into perhaps that 15-minute fair value gap. After that, I want to see price give displacement to the downside. So let's go ahead and see how we perform here. Now, this big wick here, this is probably one of the things where like, oh, you know, I should have taken out, I should have taken the short on this fair value gap. We're going lower, but you can see it's just a big wick. So it kind of leads me to think that we are accumulating some internal liquidity here, and we're going to go for the buy side. This is not really a trade I want to take, but as you can see, that's exactly how it played out. And then, right, guys, this is exactly what I was saying, right? I want to see the buy side get swept, go into that or the 15-minute CIBI, and then I want to start seeing displacement to the downside. And you can see this pattern right here. This is like a, what's it called, an island reversal, one up, one down. Or I guess you could also call this a ICT Venom model. So I will be looking to take a trade here. Let's see if we can, if the stop is actually good enough. So let's say I have my stop above this up candle. And suppose I don't know where I would have my entry, probably right here. Is that too much though? That will be 46 points of risk. Depending on where the fair value gap closes in, I will be willing to take a short at that price. I'll go, you know, as close to 1% as I can, but I don't want to go over. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet, see how many contracts I can take, depending on where the price closes. Actually, you know what? Let's first take a look at where the fair value gap closes, and then we'll go to the spreadsheet and calculate. Okay, so we actually got stopped out here, and I'll go ahead and record it. We had an entry here, and I had my risk here. I guess technically I should have had my risk all the way up there. It's a little unusual. I really would have thought that we would be going down here. So I'll go ahead and record a loss in the spreadsheet, just to show you guys. This is October data. Let me go ahead and go to the overall data. And here we are. Okay, 1 second, guys. The camera cut out. Okay, there we go. Now the camera's back. And I went ahead and recorded this, as you guys can see. Yeah, so I forgot. Here we go. We got stopped out. My entry was here at 548. 576 was my stop loss, and I said I was going to try to go close to 1%, so 2 contracts at 0.88%, and of course we got stopped out pretty much right away. So now I'm looking for price to sweep this high and give me another fair value gap after that to the downside. I still have not given up on my short idea. Let's see here. So it looks like it is kind of being a little choppy here, but I'm looking at all the sell side liquidity. As long as we don't go above this fair value gap, I think I can still remain bearish. So I'm looking for a sweep here, and then I want to start seeing movement to the downside. If we do start going up, okay, so here we have a fair value gap. Technically, this candle is still forming, so got to give this a little bit more time, but I'm not going to take the very first one. I want to see confirmation now. Okay, so we could get confirmation to the upside because we are trading back into this fair value gap. This already balanced, one up, one down, one up. So pretty balanced in this range. I don't expect price to go much lower if we are going to remain bullish. If we do get a fair value gap to the up, okay, so now we are going down. So let's see here. I don't like how we took out the sell side. This may be a seek and destroy day. I am leaning towards the sell side, but I want to see some retracement. Now that we've swept this upside and we're going down, I'm looking at this down candle here as a breaker, and moving this to the right, I'm seeing this fair value gap here. So I'll have an entry here, just one contract, and then I'll have my stop loss up here. And here we go. That's gonna, and let me get rid of this. So 529 to 570. It's going to be about 40 points of risk. Probably a little much. But just going to go ahead and take one contract here. Let's see if we can get in. And I'm looking for those relative equal lows. It's 11:30 now, getting kind of close to my time window. Okay, so here, hold on a second. There's another fair value gap down here. I could take that as an entry. So let's go ahead and try it. It's getting close to 12 o'clock, so what I'm thinking is that this could be our last chance before 12 o'clock, and then 12 o'clock we make a run for the sell side. So still just going to stick with one contract here. This is going to give me about 31 points of risk. I like this risk a little bit better, but there is a chance we could be going above here, but I'll go ahead and give this one a shot. So here we are, entered in the short, and then I'm going to look for the sell side liquidity down here to get taken. Now, my time window is over, but I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to hold for this price, this 424, because if we go out to the 15-minute, you can see, well, I mean, you know, we do have all these, so okay, if it goes into the green, I will consider cutting it off, but really I want to aim for this one, because if we go out to the 1 hour, we have relative equal low all the way back here on last Thursday. So that's what I'm looking at. But since my time window is closed, what I'm anticipating is this big down candle to be a fair value gap. And if we create a fair value gap, I don't want to see it closed in all the way. I want to see it running away from me. So what I'm going to end plus is already 12:15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my stop loss all the way down here. This could be a mistake that, you know, I've had the problem of like moving my stop too quickly. You know, like the rule I should have is price reaching a first partial. Like this would be a reasonable place to move my stop loss, but I'm doing it because of the time. It's 12:15. I normally close out my day here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this break even. At least I'm not going to be losing out on this trade. We'll see if we can hold for the sell side. And here we go. Like I said, definitely want to be like waiting for your first partial here. This could have been a really good first partial. Maybe I got a little greedy looking for that low down there. But let's see, from let's say 80 to here, that would have been like 33 points of profit. So not too shabby. I should have taken it probably down there and not be too greedy, but whatever. I went ahead and got stopped out for a break even price. So at least it could have been, you know, it could have been worse. 21.5 with my stop at 21.5 and got stopped out at 21.475.5. So at least I made up the commissions, and yeah, and not too great, but I don't know. I'm wondering now, am I having a problem of being too greedy, right? I could have just been conservative and taken the partial here and just like taking it off. I could have even just closed it here on a time stop and just say I'm done for the day. But I didn't. I wonder if I'm just being a little too greedy, demanding price to be too precise. So, you know, if you catch yourself doing this, maybe it is better to just be satisfied with a small partial win, like, you know, all the way down here, rather than trying to demand price to be a little bit too much. Either way, it is what it is. I'll consider that in the future, but right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day action. So price did pull back, but ultimately my intermediate time frame idea was correct in going for the sell side down here. But that happened around 2:30, so definitely had to hold through to the PM session before that actually gave me my target. Anyways, okay, so we're done for today, and we will go to the next day on Wednesday. And here we go. Wednesday morning, we did rally up into this 15-minute fair value gap, and then we went back down into the green. Remember that green was a daily fair value gap that I highlighted on the very first few minutes of this video. And now we consolidated, but remember, we're noting that we consolidated in the upper half of this daily fair value gap. We are trading above it. It does kind of look like it's using the top of the fair value gap as support. If we start getting displacement from here to the upside, I will be willing to take longs. And of course, if we go below this daily fair value gap, well, then I guess shorts may be valid. Looking at the week just so far, we had Monday up here, and then we dropped down for a low on Tuesday. So this could be a Tuesday low setting in if you think of power 3 on the weekly time frame. If that's the case, I'm going to be looking for price to take out the buy side up here over this high, and looking for Monday's high to get taken as well, if that's the power 3 that we're going for on the weekly. Taking a quick look at the 15-minute, this consolidation, we do have relative equal lows here, but note that this second low already took out the sell side below these lows. So there's no we're not necessarily going to go below here because it already technically has a liquidity sweep. And I think I want to keep an eye. Let me go ahead and duplicate this. I want to keep an eye on this 15-minute fair value gap, because during this decline, this was a 15-minute fair value gap that was not traded into. So this could be something that we reference, or that price references in the future as we go up. I want to see how we behave once we go into this 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, so back on the 5-minute chart, 8:30, we did have a pretty big rally into this. Remember, this was a 15-minute fair value gap. Really want to pay attention to how price is going to behave around here. Are we going to be trading through, using it as inversion, or are we going to start declining from here? I think at the very least, we are going to get a little bit of a pullback. Okay, so it looks like it didn't hold much resistance at all. We did trade through it, closed above it on the 5-minute time frame. So going into 9:30, if we can remain above this 15-minute fair value gap, I'll be looking for price to, to take longs actually. And going back to a 15-minute time frame, this second fair value gap was a 15-minute from yesterday. I'll remember we used it once as resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this in orange because I'm anticipating this to be an inversion fair value gap. We used it as resistance before. I'm expecting price to break out of it and use it as support. And if that's what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure we're going to take out this high. So just going to keep an eye out on what happens at 9:30. I want to see a little bit of, well, it just straight up went through it, took out the buy side here. And yeah, so I'm anticipating this to be used as inversion. So I do see a fair value gap potentially here. We could go for a trade. There's a lot of flat lows here and some inefficiencies. So there's a chance that we could come back into this inefficiency, which would be okay. And then, but if I see confirmation on this fair value gap, I definitely would be willing to take a long. Let me just take a bird's eye view at the 1 hour here. Okay, so we are going to go into this fair value gap. I'm going to mark out this buy side. This will be my first partial target, and then second partial will be up there. Yeah, okay, this is looking pretty good here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Don't want to get you distracted. Remember, I said we don't need to sweep those lows because it already got swept on the lower time frame. Okay, so now basically I'm waiting to see a confirmation fair value gap. Okay, so okay, it just went straight up. What can I do? It just went straight up from there, didn't retrace to give me an entry at all. Looking very, very strong this morning. We could definitely be going much higher. Actually, you know, I'm gonna go up to a 4 hour. So you can see we went down, took out a lot of sell side down here into a daily fair value gap, and now we are moving away. So because there was a lot of sell side here, I'm thinking smart money accumulated a lot of longs. So we will be pushing up for all-time highs. I will actually do another projection here from this low to this high, looking for price to perhaps go into a -1 or -1.5 standard deviation. Let me go ahead and clear up all these lines down here so we don't get confused. So I think this area is a good place for price to get reached to. A lot of projection level overlap over here. And so that's going to be about maybe 230 points more from the all-time high. I don't know if I could do it today or this morning, but anyways, with this big run, we could have some retracement. I'm just going to keep waiting. Just going to keep waiting for a pullback. give me a confirmation fair value gap that I can enter in on, and that's what I'll try to do. May not get a chance to, so just gonna keep waiting. I mean, it's looking really strong today. I'm thinking this. Okay, so we did get a little pullback here. Are we gonna get confirmation fair value gap from here? Okay, looks like we may get a fair value gap here. I'm gonna get ready. So if we do get a fair value gap here, I'll enter long. I know it's high. We take out multiple buy side targets already, but I'm looking for price to be very strong today. It is showing no sense of weakness. So, but there's always a chance that we pull back to about equilibrium. So I'm not going to go in with a full percent risk. I'm going to go in with 0.5% and just kind of take a chance on this one right here. And let me get rid of all these buy side lines. Just note that we've taken out a lot of the buy side liquidity, so there may not be much left. Anyways, from 722 to this, it's going to be about 40 points of risk, which is quite a lot. Remember, I want to see this fair value gap remain intact though. Come on, here we go. So this fair value gap, did it remain intact? That's the question. And we have this at 714. This was 714.25. So technically, no. We actually closed it in. So there's technically no trade, even though this could work out as a immediate rebalance. But I'm actually looking for price to come and sweep the sell side here and maybe go into this fair value gap. So still waiting for another confirmation fair value gap here. Okay, so it does take out the low. Remember, I'm not in a trade. That is not a stop out. I just have it there to note that I want to see price perhaps take out the low. And now, after taking out low, we could have a fair value gap here. So this will be the one that I may want to enter in on. Even though we didn't go back into this one, that's okay. We did come back into a previous fair value gap, and now we potentially could have a fair value gap here. So if this fair value gap remains intact, I will go ahead and take a trade here. It's going to be about 30 points of risk. Just going to go in with one contract, and we'll see if we can get in. Okay, so we do have multiple fair value gaps here. Okay, what I'm going to do is move my stop up to the low of this order block. And because we have this fair value gap here, and I think price is going to be pretty strong, I will go ahead and pick it up here. It's going to be about 40 points of risk, still just one contract. We'll see if we can get in. We may not. The price could just start running away from us. Okay, so another thing I'm saying is we do have a fair value gap here, and we are going into it. But you know what? Because the time is getting pretty close to the 12:15 window, I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel everything. We tried, but it never came and pick us up. So just gonna wait. And remember, we did take out a lot of buy side already, so we may not really want to try and chase price, as they would say. All right, so that's pretty much it for today. Pretty much a straight run. This was the only little bit of retracement here. And then let's take a look at the end of the day. Are we going to pull back to about equilibrium? Not all the way down here, but we're just consolidating in this area. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the 1 hour and go to the next day, which will be December 12th, Thursday morning. So yeah, really big day. I just really didn't see any opportunities on the 5-minute to get in. Perhaps on a big strong day like today, the 1 minute may serve you a little bit better, or maybe a different entry technique. Like, I know people like to enter in on change in the state of delivery, for example. But right now, this back testing, I'm just working on fair value gaps, and the entry technique is going to be a retracement back into a fair value gap. So unless we get that retracement, we're not going to be able to get in using this model. Now, looking at Thursday morning, December 12th, here on the 1 hour chart, we've had this big run. So no doubt in my mind, we are still bullish. And like I said before, going for that Monday's high of the day, we definitely took that out on Wednesday. So today I'm looking for some retracement, and I'm going to go ahead and adjust some of these. Like this one I'm going to get rid of. This one I will put over here. This is a 1 hour fair value gap, very large. Remove that, and we'll change the color here to reflect that it's a busy. Looking for price to go into here, and then I want to start seeing some displacement to the upside. Yep, that's kind of what I'm expecting. I want to see price stay in the upper half of this. I don't want to go in too deep. And of course, looking for a new all-time high once again. Quickly, let's go to the 15 minutes, see if there's anything. At a quick glance, not really relative highs here. So this would be a first partial target. And then, yeah, let's go walk it through on the 5 minute. Now, I want to see price drop down to that 1 hour fair value gap. I don't want to get faked out before we start doing that. So here we go. We did dip in at 8:30. Now I'm going to want to start seeing some displacement to the upside. Could wait for 9:30 before we do that. So just going to give this some time. Just consolidating here at the Cibi. We could come and sweep this low one more time. And looks like at 9:30 we may do that. But so far, just very choppy consolidation at the high of that 1 hour fair value gap. Okay, so we do sweep the sell side one more time, and now we're getting displacement to the upside. So with this, I can feel good about going in here. I don't really think it's going to retrace all the way back down here, but I will have my stop here, and let's see if the risk is close enough for me to try and get in here. So at 691 to, is that correct? 691 to 649. That should be about 40 points of risk. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with one contract here with my risk all the way down there. Let's just quickly refer to the spreadsheet. And yeah, with one contract, it's going to be 0.67% risk. So no reason to try for two. Just going to go for one. And I think my previous mistake was trying to be too greedy. So if I do get in here, I'm going to just target these relative highs, even though we have higher targets that we can aim for, namely this high right here. But also note that we do have a 1 hour fair value gap around that high, so around those relative equal highs. So I'm going to be taking it off at the first partial. Since I only have one contract, it's just going to be all the position. So let's go ahead and see if we can get in here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust the spreadsheet. I'm not in just yet because the fair value gap did close in over here. So adjusting the entry price should be 21,688.75. So a 0.62% risk. Still not going to be able to take two contracts. Just going to wait. Let's see if we can get in, please. Let's wick in before you start running away. Does look like it's going to start running away from me. So a little unfortunate. I still have my entry here. It could come back. Now we did take out these highs, which is a little worrisome, but went ahead and kept the entry all the way down here. So it's coming back, and I'm looking for this order block to hold, right? So I have my stop all the way here at the low of the order block. We have a fair value gap, another fair value gap, and an order block. So 3 levels of PD protection. That's pretty much standard. So from here, I want to start seeing displacement to the upside. Hopefully we can get there by 12 o'clock. We went down, tapped the 1 hour fair value gap once again. And now with this displacement outward, it's looking pretty good. And now once again, we are at my time window at 12:15. So here is another time where I can just call it off and cut off the entire trade, or if I'm just going to go ahead and put my stop loss. Let me see, are we at 101 yet? One way you can measure is, let's say you have the exit price and your risk here. You can see that 50% is below my entry, but very close. So it's very close to 101. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame, and then we'll make a judgment call here. So we did sweep the buy side here. So if I had two contracts, I'll go ahead and cut one off here and try to hold the other one for the target here. But since I only got one contract, we'll just play it safe. You know, I've made the mistake before of not, you know, taking profits when I had the chance to. So let's just go ahead and take the profits here. If it does go to my target, it is a little unfortunate, but at least I know that my idea was on track. But yeah, let's go ahead and take it here. A little bit less than 1-1. And let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day. Was my idea correct? Would we have went for those relative equal highs? And no, we actually went above this high and then we just went down. So I guess it was good that I went ahead and just played it safe. I've had that issue in the past, and I guess I'm starting to learn from my mistake and not being too greedy. So I cut it off here strictly on a time stop, right? At 12:15, I didn't want to trade anymore. So I went ahead and cut it off here. It would have retraced back into this inefficiency and gave us another pop up for this high. So I could have taken off here, but I would have had to spend like another hour or so in the market. Went ahead, just cut off here. I guess it was a good move. And yeah, we just pretty much went back down, created a new low of the day before closing the day off. Now let's go ahead and go into our last day this week, Friday, December 13th. 8 o'clock in the morning, going to a 1 hour chart. We eventually did go back above these relative equal highs. Looks like I just kind of want to come back into this volume imbalance first. I actually didn't even notice that. I guess, oh, that happened overnight. So, okay, so it happened overnight. It went up close to these relative equal highs, and then during the Asian session, it went back into this volume imbalance, and then we just rallied above, creating new all-time highs. So the higher time frame idea did work. It's just like all these things are happening overnight. And, you know, my trading window is just the New York AM session. So unfortunately, missing all of these, but it's not the right time for me to be trading. Anyways, it looks like we are all heading up for this negative 0.5, negative 2, these projection levels here. On the 1 hour, I'm looking at, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and adjust these because I don't really think these are that relevant anymore. I'm looking at this fair value gap down here. And I'm also looking at this fair value gap up here. These are both 1 hour fair value gaps. I think we can drop down to one of these two and then we start heading higher. So let's go down to a 15-minute. Do we see anything here? Not really, except for the swing low. So I think highlighting the second fair value gap, we can go for it. We do have relative equal lows here in a new day opening gap. So it could go all the way down there. If we get retracement, I guess that would be a target. Right now, I'm actually not thrilled to go long or short. I definitely need to see more of a setup. So I want to see price go down, take some sell side, go down into the second fair value gap. The first one's okay, but I really want to see price go down to the second one before we start having displacement to the upside. All right, so just before 9:30, we did take out the sell side. We went into the second 1 hour fair value gap. And from here, I want to see displacement to the upside. I think this is enough. And here we go. We have a fair value gap here on the 5-minute right at 9:30. And I could try and take this one, right? I could have my stop down here and I could try to take this. It'll be about a 30-point risk, depending on whether or not we have a stop with a fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and just try one contract here. Okay, and yeah, it just ran straight away. So looks like this was the turtle soup. This could have been a nice trade here. I guess you could have tried taking this and have your stop down here. That actually wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, never came back down for me. So now we have displacement going up. We actually hit the buy side target, these projection levels that I talked about earlier. So from here, I'm not exactly sure what to do. I'm going to have to wait for a confirmation fair value gap. If I don't get a confirmation fair value gap, there's no reason to get long. We could be going down for the sell side now that we've hit these projection levels. Okay, so like like I said, after we hit the projection levels, we could be going for the sell side. Definitely do have that happening. And going down to a 15-minute, going back for the relative equal lows here, you can see that we have relative equal lows. We have a new day opening gap. This will be the sell side target. So going down to a 5-minute chart, I'm not seeing any fair value gaps here except for this one, right? So I'm actually wanting to see price retrace back up into here. I wouldn't know where to have my stop. Maybe up here, right? This is also going to be above the 1 hour fair value gap. So at 829, currently at 744, way too much risk right now. So I definitely want to see a retracement and maybe a confirmation fair value gap to get me in. If we take out the sell side, then I will be done for today. Okay, so here we go. We have a possible entry here at 777. Again, 777 to 829. That's going to be like 50 points of risk, which I guess is doable, but I'd much rather see a confirmation fair value gap here. But I kind of feel like the sell side is going to get taken, and it did. So I think I'm going to be done for today. I don't really know what else to expect because we took out the buy side and we went to the sell side. I guess we could go for this sell side down here, but it's Friday. I don't want to expect too much from the market on Friday. So I think I'm going to be done, but let's go ahead and just walk through the rest of the morning action. No trades today. The one good trade I did do today or this week was that one where I cut it off with a time stop. I'm actually very proud of that, not getting too greedy. I've been a little too greedy in the past, in the recent past. So, and like I said, after the sell side taken, I'm not interested because you can see we're just going sideways here. And that's pretty much it from the morning action. Let's take a look at the afternoon and then we'll close this off. And then after today, so we went back to equilibrium and just consolidate around these two 1 hour fair value gaps. I'm going to take them off because I don't really think they're going to be relevant in the future. And we'll get new PD arrays to look at. But that's pretty much going to do it this time, guys. So that was December 13th. We have 2 full weeks left. And then the last week, I'll finish it off, give you guys the results. And that will be my back testing of 2024. It's been quite a journey. Taking several months, but look, I'm doing one video a day. I'm doing 1 week a day, right? If you really dedicate some time into this, like maybe you spend 4 or 5 hours on this a day, you can do like a month a day, and then you can finish this whole entire back testing, 1 year of back testing within 2 weeks. So I definitely encourage you to do it yourself. Remember, I'm doing the back testing, but I am human. I will make human errors. I don't really believe in a purely mechanical way of trading. Some people may claim that way, but I feel like you're still reading the chart, you're still reading price action, you're determining your entry, your risk. Like, I think there's no way for a 100% mechanical, I guess, unless you do a program, but that's not what we're doing here. My point is, I'm going to be back testing a certain way. I'll be trading a certain way, and that's going to be different from the way that you are trading. So I encourage you to do your own back testing. Even though I'm going to be showing you these results here in the near few days, they may not reflect how your results are going to be. So definitely do your own back testing, get your own data, look at your own results, and then you'll get a better picture of how you trade. But thank you guys for joining me once again. Come back next time. We are getting really close to finishing the back testing of 2024. Until I see you then, safe trading.